Hi, my name's KeltieOConnor, and about 2 years ago, I moved to Toronto. Just like anyone in a new city, I had absolutely no structure. I need to try this, I need to be there, I need to meet this person. And also, I was broke.
Help me, I'm poor.
Just scrapping together as much money as I possibly could to live in the most expensive city in Canada. And what especially had no structure was my eating. First meal at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Snack all the time. I would eat with these people. I'd eat at home, this and that. Exactly, I'm not even getting a point. You have no idea what I just said.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
There's just no structure. I was raised on the generation that was told to eat every 2 to 3 hours to boost our metabolism. Otherwise, our body would go into utter starvation, instantly get fat. Which I know sounds silly when I phrase it like that. Just didn't like that there was just no structure in how I ate, how I set up my day, doing so much but getting nothing done.
I was eating okay, healthy, but just this constant state of hunger.
Now I started listening to a lot of podcasts like Joe Rogan's, Tim Ferriss, and they constantly talked about this term intermittent fasting. What intermittent fasting means is just periods of not eating, aka fasting. Some people will do the cliche 16-8, fasting for 16 hours, eating for 8. Some will fast for a full day, some only fast for 13, some will do multiple days. There's a lot of different ones. So I decided I'm gonna start there. I actually documented my first week of doing intermittent fasting and my first month of doing intermittent fasting way back in the beginning of 2019. And I started very strict. An 8-hour feeding window, 16-hour fast. So what I hoped to get from this when I originally started was just some structure in my day, make myself more productive, have better athletic performance, and also get out of this like constant hunger. Eat a meal. After I finish the meal, I'm already thinking about my next meal.
So I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours, but never feeling full, never feeling satisfied, but always eating, and it was just
a bad place to be in. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Before you go on with this video, if you have any kind of eating disorder, I just want to spread my love to you. This might not be the video for you because it does talk about restricting. I don't believe in restricting from that standpoint ever. Remind you a little trigger warning and send you some love if you're watching this. I love you. So I will talk about the pros, the cons, how my body responded physically, mentally, takeaways from it, and then also my intermittent fasting routine, which we're gonna jump into right now. We start with my morning routine. I get up, I have a whole video for this, we're not gonna talk too much about it. Pretty much. I have coffee, I move my body, I try to be productive as can be, and then I eat. So I rolled out of bed, I laid on a mat because I can't actually go to the gym now. I'll go for a walk outside, get into the mental zone, clarity of emails. I'll work out, I'll stretch. Despite my shamble personalities, yeah, I journal, I know. No one saw that coming. I'm actually more organized than my personality cares for you to think. I write a script. I wrote this script for this video you're watching. Awful transition. After I come from doing all those productive things, it's time to eat. Usually wake up around 6 to 7 a.m. First meal, usually around noon to 1. And yes, the first thing I have in the day is athletic greens. Oh, minus the coffee I had, but copious amounts of coffee throughout the day, except that, come at me. So I travel to Russia about 1 time a month for 6 to 8 months of the year. And the unfortunate thing about traveling, and especially Russia, fruit and vegetables aren't always readily available. Now I talked about Tim Ferriss at the beginning. He was the one who gave me that idea of intermittent fasting. He always recommends in his podcast and in his book, For Our Body, athletic greens. Started taking this for that. There's so many different nutrients in it. Then I decided I'm gonna take it here as well because I was taking so many different supplements and I can kind of get everything I was taking in all those different pills and powders in just this. For example, I know biotin and folate, all of you guys have been telling me to take because I'm on my hair growth journey, and that's already in athletic greens. And then there's 75 other nutrients, a ton of vitamin and minerals. You're gonna get probiotics, adaptogens, digestive enzymes, there's a superfood complex. This is way more productive than taking 100 different things. Like the first thing my body gets is just the most nutrient dense thing I could possibly get, and it tastes good. Never took green supplements before because they all taste like crap. I think this is enjoyable. I usually sip on it and I make my breakfast. And they actually hooked me up. Click my link down below or type in the search bar, athleticgreens.com/Keltie. And they have a promo on for you guys. If you use that link, that you're gonna get 20 of these travel packs for free, which is $79.99 value for free. These are the ones I use when I'm traveling. I just boop, pop them in my carry-on and then just have like one a day while I'm traveling. So thank you Athletic Greens for sponsoring this. I never talk about supplements. I don't believe in supplements 99% of the time because a lot are filled with crap. I would never endorse product I'm not obsessed with. That's why you've never seen me say a fit tea. No, the day I do that is the day I've been hijacked and call help. Please please call help. So while I'm sipping this, it's around noon, 1 p.m. I'm making big AF breakfasts. You guys have seen my breakfasts before. I tried to get all my food groups. High fiber, carbohydrates, my fruits, my vegetables, my healthy fats, some protein. I'm gonna cook it, I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna play some music. Alexa, shuffle my Spotify playlist. I'll really take the time to make my breakfast, sit and enjoy, to just like eat whatever there was and rush and feel like I never even got to enjoy my meal. Then I'd go to the office. We're in isolation, so I just sit at my desk here and work for a couple hours, then go get lunch. We in social isolation, so we're just gonna walk from there back to here. Then I'd have lunch, which was quite usually a later lunch. Some kind of healthy food bowl, sandwich and a salad and some veggies on the side, a big salad, and more coffee. Then I'll usually go do some active, go do some more work, talk to you guys, and then I'll have supper and I'll have a big supper. Make social connection, we can't really, but best we can, and really make it like a family affair somehow, my dinner, and just enjoy making it. Then last few hours, I usually sit on this couch and watch some Netflix, do some journaling, things like that, and I usually stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. And no, it's not because, oh my god, you eat right before bed, just instantly restore the fat. Eating right before bed won't directly make you gain weight. Now, if you're eating extra calories because you're snacking at night, yes, that can lead to weight gain. It's not that those are magic calories that are like the tooth fairy and be like, we store more fat than other guys. No, not eating right before bed improves my quality of sleep. They're not magic late night food things. Here are my pros and cons of doing intermittent fasting for years. First pro, no mental fog. I just feel I have this mental clarity in the morning. I know myself, I'm a creative, and I find I just come out with my best ideas first thing in the morning. I enjoy food more. I don't feel like I'm eating just to eat. I feel I'm taking the time to enjoy, and the food tastes better. I reduce wanting to snack as much. I got up and would eat these small meals frequently. I felt like I always was snacking and I wasn't really enjoying. But when I can actually enjoy a big meal, I'm so satisfied when it's done. I don't feel the need to snack in an hour or two. Yes, I'll have a sweet sometimes at the end of the meal, but it's not like I ate a meal and like an hour later I already have that like, oh, I need to eat something. Like, another one is actually the best way to combat jet lag. I really utilize intermittent fasting when I'm traveling overseas. I try to reset my natural eating patterns. I will purposely like stop eating around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. here and fast all the way till I get to my destination and then have a really early morning breakfast. So it does become a 16 to 20 hour fast sometimes, but I find that can really help me combat all my jet lag, and I just pretty much do reverse on the way east to west. I feel less bloating. This really depends on the people. Of course, if you have a really big meal, you'll get some initial bloating, but I just feel naturally it's kind of helped with my bloating throughout the day, and it's probably just because I'm actually giving my body time to stop digesting and rest, because our digestive system is a muscle. We need to rest our muscles. We also need to sometimes rest our digestive system. It provided me stability in my routine without rigid strictness. One thing I love doing on my channel is trying other people's routines, different celebrities, testing different things with my eating, working out, but I needed something that I could provide structure in my day with still having all those moving parts. And I found by just doing intermittent fasting, I could easily implement all these different nutritional guides, all those, and still had structure to my day, even though everything was changing. Now, cons. Taking off that last point, at the beginning, I had to be really strict. I really kind of had to be like a 16-hour fast, 8-hour eat window until my body adjusted. But at the beginning, it had to be strict, and I never like black and white rules in terms of diet. I don't think it's a good way to live your life. There should be a general guideline, but as soon as it becomes overly strict, I don't think that's a healthy way to live your life. Personally, that's just me. And there is like so much conflicting evidence. If there's all these contradicting, why would you set yourself like such a narrow framework? And another con, which a lot of people are gonna be like, this is a pro, not a con, is forgetting to eat. If you're fasting for a long time, you'll notice you'll get less hungry, and like there was days when I wouldn't eat till 2 to 4 p.m. and then when I finally remember to eat, it's like hunger, and you just can't stop eating. So you gotta find that guideline for you. You gotta find you don't fast so long you get to that point. Third, other people's schedules. So yes, you'll have some friends who'll be like, hey, let's go for an early morning brunch. A friend calls you at 8 p.m. like, let's go get margaritas and tacos. And my answer to that is, you just don't do intermittent fasting. And so my friends call me, I'm gonna go, and I break it occasionally. It's not black or white, but that is the con, that sometimes other people's schedule isn't gonna be your own and you gotta be flexible then. Fourth con is I am not a doctor, I am not a registered dietitian, I haven't done studies in this, but it is said, and I've read a lot of studies that say women typically don't do as well on intermittent fasting. Some females are okay with it, I know I'm okay, but like I said, I can't really go above the 16-hour fast. It just like, it's not worth it, like bad things start to happen. So if you are a female and you're gonna test around with this, I really, really recommend listening to your body. If you feel your hair or skin reacts poorly, stop. If your menstrual cycle is messed up in any way, stop. Anything health-wise starts to go down because of doing this, do not recommend. Which makes a lot of sense, is men were more hunter and gatherers, they'd have to fast a lot more from an evolutionary standpoint, while females would graze throughout the day. They had a warning, really listen to your body, talk to a registered dietitian or for a medical professional. Notice I said registered dietitian or medical professional, not just some random girl on the internet. That includes me and all of us, unless they're an RD. This is my experience. I am not God. Or am I? We talked about me not being a registered dietitian, so I decided to bring on a registered dietitian to let them know their thoughts about intermittent fasting.
So someone who has written a book on fasting, someone who practices fasting, who discusses it with my clients, what I'll say is this: for the right person, intermittent fasting can be a really, really valuable and really useful tool. The one thing I would recommend is that don't get too dogmatic about it, okay? You don't need to do 12 to 8 every day. Some days you can go longer, some days you can go shorter. All that fasting really is asking you is how long are you going from your last bite one day to your first bite the next. That may change day to day. You don't have to do it every day. Please remember that it's what you eat, not how you fast. That's always going to be the most important thing for your health. Other than that, enjoy.
So how did this body, this is not a good example because I'm in sweats. How did my body and my mind react to doing a year of intermittent fasting? First, I will say this was the most efficient year of my life. I feel I really started to develop like a morning and evening routine that didn't involve just being busy. Busy isn't productive always. I used to be that. I was always doing things but never getting anything done. I really took this year to establish a routine that gave me time off. My morning routine, yes, to get work done, but I also do things like breathing, journaling, going on a walk, things that don't really seem productive. It's not actual output, so I'm more efficient when I work. And me being a morning person, having a fast in the morning really helped establish that morning routine, and I found myself a lot more productive. Also mentally, I just started to view hunger differently. The biggest issue in North America for pretty much everything is overconsumption. Fossil fuels, food, spending, social media. We can combat almost every problem we have is correlated to overconsumption over here. Almost everyone. And I just began to see hunger different. Now, I don't come from an obese background, so I understand there's different issues that go into it, but we just have a weird relationship with food, I find, over here. And I started to be okay with being hungry. I'm not saying I'm like purposely starving myself. It's still ate enough calories to maintain my weight throughout the day. But whenever I'm hungry, I didn't view it as like I was gonna die. And I feel we kind of have this idea of like, if you don't eat every 2 to 3 hours, oh my God, I'm a little hungry, like hangry, the world's gonna fall apart. And like, how entitled of us. Really, when you think of it, I'm sorry to say this, but like, oh my God, I want a couple hours and I'm so hangry. And there's people in Africa who haven't eaten for a week. I'm sorry, I know I sound like blunt and rude, but it's true. And we kind of need that reminder sometimes. So sometimes I sit there in the hunger and be like, I'll be okay. I'm not gonna drop dead. I will have a big meal in a couple hours. I have too much availability of food. I have Uber Eats, I have DoorDash, I've skipped the dishes. Like, food is so easily accessible over here, and so being okay with being hungry, which brought such a gratitude towards food when I ate, and just being thankful that I have the accessibility to have food whenever I want it. So I'm choosing to fast, which is such a blessing in itself, that really I'm making a whole entire video about choosing hours not to eat. How freaking blessed I am. I'm very thankful. Very, very thankful, very thankful. And not to go totally materialistic from that talk, but how did my body respond physically? Now, of course, I did a lot of different challenges. We all have to take that into account. There's variables, but at the beginning of the year, I always maintained my weight more towards 120 to 123, and those lower 120s. Now I maintain my weight more around 123 to 126 in the mid 120s. So yes, I gained 3 pounds, but I didn't gain any body fat. A concept called like body recomposition, where sometimes people, their weight stays the same, they actually lose some fat, build some muscle. Body fat just stayed the same, and I just put on some muscle. So I was able to maintain my weight maintain my body fat percentage, a healthy body fat percentage for my body, but add some muscle, which comes into progressive overload, eating enough calories, and increasing your kind of workouts, your resistance. A whole video we could do about that. I will just say, I'm not saying intermittent fasting caused it, but it definitely came into play with it. My main takeaways from doing intermittent fasting for 1 year. First, I'm gonna say, I don't like diet culture. I don't like the name intermittent fasting. I don't like the name intermittent faster. So don't ever call me intermittent faster. Don't call me anything like that. And why I refuse to label myself this. And I like to test different things, because I think you gotta test and figure out what works for you. We tend to label ourselves by our diets now rather than religion. Religion is kind of fading a little in our generation, and now we tie how we eat to our morals. Example, not saying right or wrong, I'm just saying, let's just expand, let's have a conversation, think about this. We tie what we eat too much to our identity, and I never want how I eat to identify me as a human. How I choose to fast a couple hours a day says nothing about my morals. Another takeaway is it created a habit. Now the first month, of course, it was really took a lot of effort to do. I had to be conscious of it, but eventually it just became a habit. Like at no point do I have to think like, well, should I have breakfast now or not? It's just, I just go about my morning routine and eventually have breakfast. It takes no willpower. I think you know you've built a habit once it is easier to do something than to not do it. So it's easier for me to get up and go about my day than to get up and make breakfast. I do believe intermittent fasting can create a healthy relationship with food for some people, not for everyone. Like I said, it's that fine line of, are you fasting, are you starving? And they're the same, but they're different, and that could be a whole video in itself. But I think it comes down to that gratitude for your food and always fueling your body. Never starving your body, always fueling your body, but be gratitude towards food and when you eat and enjoying your food. Truly enjoying your food, taking time to sit and make your food. Play around. If you are interested in it, I say try it. See if it makes you more productive, healthier, and happier. If those entire fasting hours, all you can think about is food, that's not good. You shouldn't be like, oh my God, we got 3 hours and 26 minutes and 36 seconds before I can have a bagel. No. Grateful for the food you have, grateful for the time you can spend not eating. And at the end of the day, my main takeaway after this year is it really solidified the importance of sitting down and making a meal with your hand. I love to go out, and I do believe going out and being social with friends and family is great as well. Now there's a time and place for fast food, but unfortunately we live in a fast food society, which I don't like. I think we should sit down and enjoy meals with people. It's when we are social. Quarantine has taught us all anything. It's how nice it is to make a banana bread. Like, it's just a part of being a human. It's making things with your hand, sitting around a table, enjoying it with people. And I think that's what food is so beautiful. And I don't think you can have a negative relationship with food if you actually are spending the time to make the food, enjoy, and sitting and enjoying with other people. That is like the most beautiful thing. Like, how many times have you had those memories? You make something beautiful with a loved one, or you eat this amazing pasta and wine at this restaurant in Italy that I didn't get to go to because the world shut down. I mean, you know, those moments, you remember those things. And fasting, ironically, makes you appreciate those moments. And it really taught me that, the importance of those social connections and sitting down to eat a meal, not eating a meal on the go, sitting, enjoying, and making it with your hands. So, thank you for tuning in. Like always, have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye. Stay safe. Wash your hands. This is my 2020 mood. Because this is what I do when I'm alone.